crazy kooks we put up in too long. Let's drop a bomb and prove that they were wrong.
Woo! God damn. I love this show, although there's only about 40 of us that love it together.
And there's 10
Come on, we
people
gotta
who
grow
really
the show.
hate it. And 10
All right,
people who
so
really hate
this is conservative parents with liberal kids, right?
it. You got it right this time. I didn't
Okay,
have
I
to
say
correct
children
you.
all the time.
Thank
Okay.
you.
All
Yes,
right.
you did.
All right, so there's a lot that's been happening in the public sphere, but I want to start with the theme of the show.
Yes.
Okay, the theme of the show is that love and respect is more important than the politics.
Amen.
And it's what motivated me to start the show, because I have 4 great children who are very liberal thinkers in spite of my conservatism. And I have pride in that as well as regrets in that. And I know there are a lot of other parents out there that are suffering with me in that they wish it was different, but still have the pride. Like, this is your children. You love them. I just wish in reverse.
But they couldn't vote.
Right. I wish I could remove their constitutional right to the ballot box. That's really what I want now. But I've been battling letting them be free thinkers. I've been battling, I guess, the forces of the public school system, the media, and whatnot.
Social media.
And social media that actually, I think, modifies their way of thinking. It's not even really like it's a wiring issue now. It's like they've wired to think in a certain way that's not rational.
Yeah,
And I think it's because of a lot of indoctrination that goes beyond what I thought was they were capable of being indoctrinated to.
To bring them back is going to take a lot more than a civil conversation.
Yeah, I mean, because we've experienced this.
This is beyond disagreement. This is
right.
This is
So,
hardwired.
To enlighten the audience, and I'm not going to give my children's names or anything, but I have a 28-year-old daughter who, since the moment Trump was elected, has been railing against me in a variety of forms, so much so that I've been called Hitler, inhuman. That was a theme for a while. I'm just inhuman to have voted for him.
Wow.
So, against some
there.
other family members' opinions, I posted a couple of screenshots from text messages from my oldest very recently. I guess about within a week or two ago.
About 2 days ago.
2 weeks ago.
It was about 2 or 3 days ago.
And I posted it to Facebook, and of course, my other family members thought I was insane for airing family laundry, but Jason was very supportive of me because I wasn't trying to make the point of, like, this is what's going down in my family.
Yeah.
I was making the point of this is what it's come to, where politics is controlling
our relationships.
Relationships, right? So,
and it isn't just family, it's society.
It wasn't like, oh, my daughter's crazy. It was
Yeah.
more like, this is what happens when politics controls you. Because I've said for 3.5 years to my daughter, I don't care who you vote for. I don't care why you think who you need to vote for. It's not a subject between us because you're my daughter. It doesn't need to be talked about. It doesn't need to be discussed. There's a million other things we can talk about. But unfortunately, and I've said this to people off the air and on the air, if you're comfortable marginalizing your opponent, then you can then say anything about them. So if you put them in a category of you are this type of person, then I can treat you as though you are that type of person.
But that is the strategy that came out of the 60s. That's the Saul Alinsky strategy. I mean, it's been successfully worked on. Yeah,
it's absolutely true.
They've achieved
and it's
their goal.
But the young ones like my daughter, they don't know it's part of the Saul Alinsky.
No.
Right.
They didn't buy into it. They're the victims of it.
Correct.
And they are. They're victims.
So I got them what I knew was coming eventually, and this is, again, it's part of the show.
Maybe it should be conservative parents of liberal victims would be a better name for our show.
Okay, Serge, you want to weigh in now? That's
Victim number 1, would you like to answer?
Anyway, so I got
withdraw
these
the question.
without going into the words of the messages. It was basically, I am now determined based on the debate that there is zero question. There can't be any debate anymore that Trump is in fact a white supremacist. He is in fact racist. He is, in fact, someone that is willing to go to any measure to protect white supremacists. And if you vote for him, you are thereby not only agreeing with his philosophy, you are yourself a racist and white supremacist. So I quickly tried to remind my daughter that she's a product of a biracial marriage and that I've devoted my career to civil rights. Until recently, I've been doing family law, but most of my career has been dealing with civil rights. And so even though I'm a conservative thinker, I absolutely believe in protecting those who are been historically treated differently on account of their race, age, gender, disability, and so forth.
I'm just curious, which section of the white supremacy spectrum are you? Are you on the Jewish spectrum of that? Where does that lay?
Nice lead. That was the other thing at the beginning of the election of Trump. My daughter had texted me and said, "Do you realize that I'm half Asian and Jewish?" And I said, "Of course I realize that because I married an Asian and I raised you Jewish." And she's like, "Yeah, but Trump doesn't like anybody that's not white and hates Jews."
Oh, my God. Oh, that's so outrageous.
Right. I'm like, okay. So, no, that's not actually true. She goes, "Oh, it's true." And so
it is true.
He really wants me to be like dead. No, he doesn't want you to die. You know, like I'm like I don't know why I'm even dealing with that kind of conversation, but that's who she really is and what she truly believes to her core. So it came down to 2 weeks ago where she sent me these text messages like, "If you then vote for Trump this election, I cannot be your daughter anymore. I can't be associated with you anymore because I'm trying to save," I guess the terms that she put in the text was, "I'm trying to save our relationship. If you tell me you're not going to vote for him, this is your opportunity to save my relationship to you." So what do you do with that kind of bullying? Because it's a form of bullying.
It is
right. Like, what do you do with that kind of bullying? Like, do you say
It's very simple. What's more important to you, your daughter or a vote?
No,
that probably doesn't count.
That is a ridiculously simple question and not true. That's a false choice.
That's where she's at right now.
So how about my view, which is
you're the parent.
How about my view is, I'm going to believe that over time she realized, God, that was a period of time in my life that I was indoctrinated and I didn't see it through the bigger lens. And maybe 5 years from now she'll come back to me and say, God, I was such an idiot to you, Dad, I love you.
Or maybe 5 years from now you'll be like, you know what, I was an idiot too.
For what? I have to now vote for somebody I don't want to vote for? To make her my daughter?
Not to make her a daughter, but
that's what she's saying.
Is it really, is your vote really that important?
Yes.
No, it's
no.
It's
so interesting. Hold on.
It's not.
So very interesting that you put it in that. Why would she put her relationship with her father on the line over a vote? Why can't you turn it around? Let's turn the tables and ask.
It's less than a vote. It's an ideology.
She's willing to. No, she's literally. She knows how he feels.
Yeah.
She already knows that, and she's willing to say, I am willing to give up my relationship with you based on the way you vote. It's you turned it and blamed him. But it's actually
just agree with her.
He didn't pose the question.
I did agree with her.
He didn't pose the question.
Do you agree with her because in part you agree with her politics, or agree with
I agree
with
it's to me it's more of a, this guy's a jack off. He doesn't care
because
about
you don't like Trump.
No, well, it's just
because you don't like Trump.
His image is just
because you don't like Trump.
Yeah, I don't like Trump. I don't
there you go. Just to say it. You don't like him.
Yeah.
So you're willing to allow relationships to be completely destroyed based upon your opinion. Not my opinion, your opinion.
It's what he is standing for, what he's showing in public. It's
so you're willing to that's your belief, not our belief.
That's what I'm saying. You're projecting your belief onto him. You're suggesting that he's making the choice. The choice is being made by his daughter.
Yeah. But he also has a choice in the matter. He could be like, you know what, politics is stupid. I'm not going to put.
You know what? When the bully demands,
and you know what? When the bully demands,
because I've said for 3.5 years. Thanks.
Go ahead,
Jason. I really do appreciate his support here. I have told her 3.5 years. Politics is not a subject between us.
Exactly.
Do not bring it up. Do not make it an issue. You know, we have to agree to disagree because that's how polarized we are between each other. Just don't bring it up. It's no point in it. I love you. I'm there for you. You have questions, regarding life and jobs, and because she calls me. This is the other thing, as a caveat to a caveat. right? Here's the problem. Still has no problem calling me when
Absolutely.
she has issues,
Absolutely.
right? So why is she asking Hitler for advice?
She's not asking Hitler for advice.
Do
You're
not define
you're
me
not
as
the guy-
Hitler
you're
and then
not-
come to Hitler for
But no,
advice.
the thing is, you're not the guy out there looking like a complete moron. Like, this guy's looking like a complete moron. He's saying racist things.
You're
But
missing
listen,
the
can I
point. If she
finish?
said,
Can I finish?
Yes, you can.
He's doing all of these things that shows his
What
whole
things?
ass.
Name one thing.
Everything, like the COVID thing, the hopping in the doing a little
Going
press,
in the car.
a little press tour for what? Everybody else we know, if you got it, stay inside for 2 weeks. How hard is that? But this guy is downplaying something that's killed millions of people. Well, hundreds of thousands of people,
No,
millions
can I
worldwide.
take the flip side of it?
Can-
well, the
can
flip
I
side is
finish?
he's a leader.
But the thing is, this is the problem. He's creating huge division, and she can't stand it. And she's looking
But
at it
you're
like,
the one who's creating the division. He's not creating the division. He's taking an action, and you're rejecting that. But you're going so far as to make it a personal choice between supporters. This is why this is a false analogy, and it is completely unfair. You don't like Trump. His daughter does not like Trump. Fine. I don't care. You like Biden. You like Hillary. You like whoever you like. Fine. I'm not willing to define my relationship with you based upon who you like. But you are, because you despise that
that's
man
what
so much.
Younger people do. Younger people are more emotional. This is not about if you vote for Trump. This is, listen, take my side for something, please. That's what that is. That's like, yo, we're looking at good
It's a
versus
little-
evil.
it's-
Even though they're both evil, they're
All right,
both.
that's-
both-
that's
I
disingenuous.
can agree with
That's
you
disingenuous.
in a small way because
Yeah.
I know that's part of it, but the main part of it is I have defined this person as pure evil.
Absolutely.
And if you therefore support him in any way, you are therefore evil.
You're supporting
And therefore,
evil.
it doesn't matter my history. It doesn't matter if you're my dad. It doesn't matter if you've been my financial support,
Yeah.
my emotional support.
Absolutely.
By the way, the only parent to raise her,
Absolutely.
right? Okay.
Yeah.
All that is inconsequential because I'm voting for him.
Because it's a character thing, man. She wants to know that even though you've done all this for her, that you still are a good person. Because a lot of people,
But she can't see it. That's the point. She's defining me as evil as the person she's.
because that's who you're running with.
But your solution to the problem is you're right.
Yeah.
Just tell her you're right. Right. So now every time I meet my daughter and have a relationship with my daughter, I have to be someone I'm completely not.
No, you're not. You're still going to be you. You just
Gotta lie.
You don't got to lie. You could just be like,
No,
look,
it is.
You have to live a
lying.
lie.
I
You have to live a lie.
I have to live a lie. Now, the reason why I say that is because there's zero way that it's still not an issue.
Yeah.
Right? Like if Trump gets reelected, oh my God.
Yeah.
Right?
Did
When?
you have any of
You mean
these
when?
issues before he was elected?
Well, I knew she was liberal,
Did you have any of these issues before she was elected?
but no.
Exactly.
But you're making my point.
You're-
actually.
That's the
you're-
point that I'm
you're-
trying
you're
to
making
make.
this all about
it's
one
like,
person.
Okay, right. You're making it about my hate for a person that you feel like you need to support. Therefore, you are in fact the same person.
She's not saying that. She's
Of
she's
course she
saying
is.
you're
That's what-
supporting.
Did
That's
you read
exa-
it?
a
That's
bad-
exactly what
Did
she
you read
said.
my half a
That's
day
what she-
post?
yeah.
Like I took it down the
That's
next
what
I
day.
didn't
said.
see that. No.
Yeah.
I'm mainly
Can
saying.
I read to you what she wrote?
It's if you support. Like that's what it's like. If you support somebody who's doing these really bad things, then I mean,
What bad
you're not
thing?
the bad person, but
you
you're
realize
supporting.
that this isn't we're having a difference of policy opinion,
Yeah.
and you're making it life or death. You're making it, Hitler.
Okay.
You're making it fascism when it's not. It's just a difference of policy opinion, and you're making it. You're ramping up the charge.
Your hate is coloring everything. So let me
true.
read to you. Let me read to you,
Yeah, go
and then tell me if you agree or disagree with her view or my view.
Absolutely,
on it,
go right
okay.
ahead.
So word for word,
All right,
this is right after the debate.
go right ahead.
Like
when he completely showed his
Okay,
ass,
the
but
next
continue.
morning after the debate, her to me, my daughter, still feel the same after last night? Question mark. So I write back, let me be perfectly clear. The subject of politics will never be the subject of our conversations. I respect your right to believe as you do and your vote accordingly. I'm in trial tomorrow from 12 to 5. I love you. Okay? Response. Are you engaging in political discourse with anyone else or only others who share your opinions? It doesn't have to be with me, but I think you should be open to hearing arguments against your belief system. As you well know, I no longer regard this as a matter of having mutual respect for political beliefs. I do not believe anyone who casts a vote for an openly racist and sexist president is a good person.
There you go.
To be honest, I'm trying to salvage our relationship, because if you vote for him again, I will assume you are racist and sexist, and I do not associate with racist or sexist people. To support someone who refuses to denounce white supremacy is an act of white supremacy, and I will not stand for it in my family. If you vote for someone racist and sexist, you are in fact supporting the ideals of racism and sexism.
And that's facts. Go ahead.
That's not facts. That's garbage.
All right, so what did I write in response to that?
I'm sure you were like, just let's take politics out of it and be father and daughter. Like,
Here's what I wrote.
as we should be.
I understand. I'll miss you.
Oh, Richard.
I think that's appropriate.
Oh,
Actually.
how else do you respond?
Okay. So in your world, what she wrote was facts. Like you said, facts.
Yeah.
They're not.
If you support a racist and somebody who is like...
He's not racist.
But he is not a racist. And he is not a sexist. And he is not a homophobe.
Grab him by the pussy is not sexist.
You've
Not,
never,
I pushed up on her like a
You-
little
I'm
bit.
telling
never-
you.
you
Do
have
you want me
never
to disclose some of our
spoken-
private conversations, sir?
You've
Do
never
you want me to
spoken.
disclose that on the air?
You've never spoken
And I
inappropriately.
know you're not sexist.
Yeah.
Do you want me to disclose conversations we've had? No.
I don't
So
think I've
put
ever
that
said
aside.
anything
Put
about
that
grabbing-
aside. Don't give me that
No,
bullshit. Oh, he
not.
said it things. Oh my god.
But have I ever said anything like that? Let's be honest. Have I ever said?
have
I ever said when you run? Not the full quote, but when you run these things, you can walk in there when they're changing, and it doesn't matter because you're the person running it.
Okay. Well.
No,
I
I
can-
did no. Does that
All
not
right.
seem creepy?
Because he was in that position, so he says that.
So
But I'm
that's
saying-
so you're
no,
allowed.
no. I don't, do I like it? No. Do I think, based on the totality of the evidence, as we would say, that he is anti-women? No, I think he's.
he loves women.
He could be crude.
He's crude. When he said it's like locker room talk, that's kind of what it was. More so than saying he's actually hates women or he
Oh
demeans.
no, he
women.
doesn't hate women, but he doesn't look at them as equal at all. When you could just walk into somebody's dressing room because you own the place, yeah, no.
All
And
right,
that was a
so
locker room talk. He said that right there. That was
So-
on Howard Stern.
Does it matter to you? Like, this is stuff that amazes me. Okay, all right. So you have someone like an Amorosa. I hate to pick up that name, but you have
Go
someone
ahead.
right like this, like not a good human being.
Okay.
But is black and woman, and he says, I think that she's got some leadership quality, so I'm going to put her in a leadership position. Okay? Black and woman. He's looking at it from a perspective of what's good for my business, what's good for the business of the presidency.
Where's she at now?
Because he's a businessman. Like, he fucked up. No, but that's the point. No, you don't understand that. Once you realize that he treats everything as transactional. This is what I said on one of our shows before. I don't know, before you, I guess. I said, if you
that
look
show
at,
is a
you
shit
look
show,
at
so
Trump,
it's not possible.
If you look at Trump as everything is a transaction, every personal thing,
Yeah.
everything is what can I gain from it and what can I make that person get less of it, right? Like he sees it as every little transaction is a competition.
Yeah.
If you look at it from that viewpoint,
Very
it,
cold,
it takes
black and
away
white,
all
black and
the
white.
sexism and the racism and all that.
No, it
It's
doesn't.
purely
It doesn't take away
transactional.
all that.
Oh,
It's not
I
everything.
want
is
you to
not
step
purely
back and look at
transactional.
everything he's done.
Yeah.
Seriously, look at it.
Yeah, I've
and
seen
say,
a whole lot of stuff
What
that he's
better
done.
explains it? Is it racism? Is it sexism? Or is it because he's
Okay,
transactional?
like this. That's a perfect example. Since it's transactional, what was the point taking out the full page ad saying that if we had the death penalty, we should put these guys to death penalty, even though they weren't found guilty? Well, they were found guilty, but then it turns out that
When was this?
The Central
I'm
Park
missing
5.
a news story.
Central
He's
Park
talking
5.
again. He's talking about stuff from before the presidency. So he's
It
talking
doesn't
about the
matter.
Central-
It's still that's the person. That's the person's character. His character hasn't changed. These are his
All right,
core
so,
things.
So remind me of that.
So when the Central Park 5 got arrested, they weren't even hadn't gone to trial. He took out a full page ad saying we should bring back the death penalty. You should kill them. They're guilty. We haven't even had a trial. But now you didn't poison the jury pool by taking out a full page ad saying that these guys deserve the death penalty. They're guilty.
So
blah,
is
blah,
that
blah.
racism?
It's part of it. It has to be because
Why?
how many other people has he taken out full page ads
All
against?
right. So what if I'll agree with you. I'll go to the leap and
That
say
was in 1989, by the way.
Yeah,
Still-
let's
still
say
happened.
let's say back then,
Yeah.
It was monumentally stupid. Let's just start at that level.
Yeah, absolutely.
Monumentally stupid. Okay. You have to take something that's monumentally stupid and then say, okay, was his true motivation race? Now that's another debate. Okay, so
Yeah,
we know it's
yeah, 'cause
stupid.
we can't prove that.
We know it's stupid. Okay.
Absolutely.
So, what if he was taking it from the perspective, as he does now, and saying, I look at things as like Law and Order. Bad and stupid because he didn't allow the system to play out. But he's looking at it like if they are guilty, they get the death penalty. And he's like being Law and Order guy.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's one of those things that Jason and I talk about this before we go on the show. Like, God damn, I just wish he wasn't stupid about it.
In June?
Like, just don't be stupid about it.
In June?
Because when you're stupid about it, people get to label you as something else that you're not.
Absolutely.
In June,
Okay, go ahead.
In June of 2019, June 18, 2019, the New York Post ran a story. Trump says Central Park 5 admitted guilt, won't apologize. President Trump on Tuesday refused to apologize to the Central Park 5, asserting that they admitted their guilt and that there are people on both sides of the question of their innocence. Trump jumped into the issue as a new Netflix series. So that
You guys seen that series?
No, I
You
don't.
should probably watch it.
You're willing to judge the man's complete soul based upon his opinion
No.
on a case that was really
Absolutely not. However, I will look at
in the
all
newspaper,
of
where-
the things that he's done leading up
But
to
you
that.
cited
and
that as
since
one of
then.
your
You
primary
decided
Well, that's one of the
example.
things. We
and
could
he just-
also
and his position on that was, well, they admitted their
but
guilt.
we could
so
also go
if
into
they admitted that they did it,
the
then they
unfair
did it. And
housing
then they
practices
should
that
be
he did,
executed.
and denying people housing because of their race.
We've had this conversation a
Yeah,
million
we
times.
remember we've had it a couple times because it ended in him settling.
Well,
because
I thought
No,
we ended
you-
it by proving you demonstrably wrong.
no, I was never proved demonstrably wrong.
complete-
He settled.
Yeah,
we all agreed that he
we
settled.
left here
The
thinking
record.
like,
you
oh,
guys agreed.
You got
guys-
humiliated.
We said that we agreed that he settled. You guys said he settled because he didn't want to stay in court. I said
Because
he
it's
settled
transactional.
Because he had
It's
so many.
transactional.
He had like 30 or 40 people on that.
I really
Class
want you
action
to,
lawsuit.
after this show, go back and think of all the things you think of Trump and say,
Yeah.
is it also better explained by him being a transactional person? Like, what am I
That
going to
wasn't
decide to do in
transactional.
this instance that fits my overall philosophy of the what's the word, the survival of the fittest kind of, like, he's always the macho guy in the room.
Yeah, of course.
I counterpunch harder. It's like, it's in the moment I'm transacting and I want to come out as the victor. I don't think he thinks in terms of race. I don't think he thinks in terms of sexism. But in a moment when he's being a bravado guy on a bus and he's talking to a reporter and saying, oh, you can grab the woman by the pussy, he's just being a macho dude. It's disgusting. I'm not diminishing it. But it's not because he thinks women shouldn't aspire to be powerful and heads of companies and, and aspire to be president or whatever. He's not that person like women should never be successful. I guess that's the way I'm looking at it. It's like he's in that moment. He's transacting with another guy. Like, I'm just being a bravado because we're talking about this issue.
I think I'm coming to a conclusion, and I've been frustrated for a very long time to understand why. But I think it's really interesting that you weigh different facts and more heavily than others. Like, you will give all kinds of examples, like the Central Park 5 and these stories of the minority apartment owners who sued him, and you want to use that as what it looks like in his heart. But then you're not willing to look at the same time the results of his actual policies, and you're not willing to say, well, that could offset it. You're not willing to look at both and try. You're not willing to look at both to try to find a conclusion. When we say he's transactional, he will take any decision which is really best for the bottom line. And that bottom line could be money. It could be reputation. It could be, I don't know, future business opportunities, political control. It could be anything. He's transactional. He doesn't go, oh, let's go down on this guy because he's black. He goes, I'm going down on that guy because he's wrong or because I can make more money if I break him. That isn't always – the hypocrisy that we see, and my frustration lies with your daughter, Rich, and with you, Serge, is, to a lesser extent, because I don't have a relationship with you enough to know your heart, but what I believe is that you find certain examples that color your entire perception of him, and then you bank on it. And then you're not willing to look at other examples. So now it doesn't matter what he's done. It doesn't matter that black unemployment is the lowest it's ever been. It doesn't matter that black incomes are higher than rising higher than they have in years. It doesn't matter that he's supporting black economic zones in inner cities. It doesn't matter that he's appointing multiple women to places of high administrative roles and in his administration. None of that matters. You just keep going back to, he said grab him by the pussy. But it doesn't matter that he's raised 10 women or 15 women or 100 women into his administration and he relies upon them for his advice. If he hates women so much, if he thinks they're so stupid, if he thinks they're so useless, if he's such a misogynist, why are they surrounding him? Why are they his advisors? Why does he rely upon them? Why does he rely upon his daughter like he does? He doesn't diminish her on a daily basis. He doesn't bring her and pet her on the head. He uses her advice and he listens to them. And the problem that I have is the refusal. You want to use certain examples and you want to buy in on those examples. By the way, examples that are all 30-something years old, and you don't want to look at the man today. So there's no possibility of redemption. There's no possibility of improvement. There's no possibility of him changing his mind. And you're not even willing to understand the viewpoint that we're trying to take, that his position is transactional. He has been – so if he was such a racist, why was he given an award in New York City in the 80s and in the 90s for being an African-American mentor? Why was he given that? Because what?
It's real easy just to give people money as donations.
He bought it.
But you automatically
absolutely.
So you automatically discount.
You automatically conclude that because of your inherent bias against them.
No, that's just money, bro. People get awards all the time for being high donors.
By doing that, then you are also denigrating Jesse Jackson and the other guy.
Absolutely,
the guy
Al Sharpton.
Yeah, absolutely, and all those other guys.
Yeah, I agree, 100%. I don't like those guys either.
So everybody sucks.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. He
sucks. I don't like those individuals.
He sucks way more
either.
than they do. But yeah, absolutely. I agree with you 100%. They're all about the same thing. They're all about trying to get money.
They're all trying
to be out there in the public spotlight.
Amazing.
They all want to have power. They're all the same. There's nothing different between Al Sharpton.
They're all the same, and they all suck.
I want you to address Jason's point,
why
don't you weigh all the other evidence showing he's not what you think he is?
I have.
And you still go back to the Central Park 5.
Policy stuff.
But you bring up the Central Park 5.
Because
that's your first example?
What I'm explaining is there's a difference between the professional doing policy. Do you really think he's coming up with all these policies by himself, or do you think he has somebody there who's pushing this and saying, "Hey, stupid, sign this real quick"?
No,
he is an inherent leader.
Stop.
No,
hold on. No. Sorry. No. This is what I really hate. I hate this prison of two ideas. I am so tired of that straw man argument. It's either he came up with it himself or somebody shoved it in his face and he has to sign it.
It's facts.
You know what?
Either he's an evil genius or he's a patsy,
no,
right?
It's
like,
not.
What is it?
Why is it
what
not?
President has ever really done anything?
You don't know anything what presidents do. What I'm telling you is you've gone from this bullshit position or this bullshit position and pick one or the other and you're still an asshole. Doesn't matter which you pick. If he came up with it on his own, you're a liar. Yeah. And if he did that, then he's a puppet. But you don't even think of the fact that maybe they sat in a room for 7 hours and they came up with a deal together. Maybe he has advisors that came up with him. Maybe there are times when he signs off, but maybe there are times where he signs off right away. He's like, oh fuck, I don't care. Yeah. And then maybe there are times like this is my idea and we're doing it.
Absolutely. But can we say which ones are which?
Why are you saying which ones are which?
I'm not saying which ones are which. I'm just saying I'm sure that there's some that have been in there that, and I'm pretty sure a lot of the ones that have to do with minorities were just basically pushed in front of him. Said, "Look, it's going to look real good for the minority and black voters."
You are making this up.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying that this is hype. This is just like you guys say. Oh, he could be in there with guys 7 hours.
He could be.
He could be. Just like I said, a guy could Come up to him, say, "Yo, this would look really good for the
But
black
you're-
people
but
if
you-
you sign this."
But
All right,
you're
so
but
hear
same
me
thing.
out. Hear me out, Jason.
Same exact thing. Just
Simmer
like
down
you
for a
guys
second.
could say
Simmer down.
he comes up with this
Okay.
stuff, I
If
could say he doesn't.
If you like Jason and I believe it's
Yeah.
transactional.
Absolutely.
Okay, and that means it's devoid of any element of racism, sexism, any isms, right? It's just he's just looking at it like for a
Absolutely.
bottom line
Yeah.
perspective.
Yeah.
Okay. Then, anytime he proposes a policy that affects positively a group, like say African Americans,
Yeah.
like the labor employment rates, for example. Okay, I can understand the other side saying it's not as though he's promoting black people. It's not like he's in favor of black people, so you can still marginalize
It's just a
him.
result.
Right, you can still marginalize him because he's against black people, but his policies end up raising the waters to lift the boats of black people.
Well, I mean,
right?
that's-
So yeah, it's not like he's in favor of black people when he does that. But the president wants to make the point, if I don't want them to achieve that result, why would I have the policy? No one on the other side wants to consider that. Like, if you're really a racist,
Yeah.
you would not want the result to happen.
you would create a policy that actually harmed them.
Yeah,
Right.
but the thing
Not
is, see, we're
help
in
them
the
by
this is
accident.
the problem. See, well, not a problem for them. It's a problem because everything you can look up online and see what they're doing. So if he's striking down all these things that are going to benefit the minorities, of course we're going to be able to see it. So you
So
can't
he's doing
hide
things
stuff
for
like
image. He's doing it for an image.
absolutely he's doing it for image.
So when he does something that is not racist, it's to cover
No,
up his racism.
I'm simply saying he hasn't done none of this until the last year of his term.
No. About,
All of a sudden,
do
now
you
he's
believe
pushing through all of
when
the
he
minority
does something that is
He's been working on that from the beginning.
objectively not racist, do you think it's part of a cabal of people? Let's make sure he doesn't appear racist. Let's do something.
No, they can't do nothing about that. He's going to appear that no matter what. As soon as that teleprompter's not working, it's falling out. Remember, stand by, stand back, stand back, stand by.
we can't help you, Serge. We're
Hey,
sorry.
he said it, not
I'm
me.
not trying to help him.
Why are you
I
guys?
don't- I
why are
don't
you guys
care.
looking at me like he's the one who said it?
You're poisoned.
How he
No,
said
no, no,
it?
no. I really look.
I'm going for
They
ratings
said,
now. You're
can-
poisoned.
No, they said, can you denounce these guys? And he said, what do you want me to call?
He said, no, he said sure.
Yeah, he did, but did he? And he said, what do
But
you want me to
because-
call?
you know why?
What do you want me to call?
You know what he said?
And they said the
30
Proud
times
Boys.
before that, on multiple occasions, I denounce white supremacy. And then they try to pin him to a 5-second clip so they can say, see, he is racist.
They're trying to help him. And I said, here's your opportunity. Say it.
'Cause he's
say
not-
all the white supremacists are
I
bad people.
wish he thought quicker
KKK's
on his
bad
feet,
people.
and I wish he didn't
the
say
Proud
the shit.
Boys are bad people.
This is the thing.
But it's
you're
in his heart.
disregarding all the
It's
other
in
evidence
his
to
heart.
show he's not
Nah,
racist.
Because all the other evidence, other people have a hand in. This is none of the stuff that he came up by himself. Come on, man.
See,
What
no
do you mean,
matter-
don't go
Come
Biden
on,
on me.
man.
yeah, come on, man.
Come on, man.
He sounds so good.
No, but this is what I'm saying. It's like they're constantly giving him alley-oops. Yo, just say KKK sucks. All these
They
guys.
are constantly.
But he
is
keeps
under-
screwing it up. How hard is it to be like,
First of all, he's
absolutely.
not screwing it up, first of all.
He's sidestepping it.
Second of all, he gets in front of the press and answers almost any question posed to him. He answers the press. He does press conferences. Every time he goes to and from Marine One, he stops to the press corps. He answers their questions. He does it all the time. Biden, everything is scripted.
Yeah.
But he's an open book.
Who, Trump?
Yeah, he's
absolutely.
an open book.
That's what we're all saying. He's an open book.
Okay, then how is it that 63 million people don't agree with you?
The
At
other
least.
Are they all racist
75
and
do.
sexist?
No.
How many people we got?
Are they deplorable?
Like 150
Are those 63 million
We have
people
350
deplorable?
million
300.
people here, but
So
they don't all
60
vote.
million people say he's not racist. How many other people are left out of 300 million? That's 240 million people.
No, just go by the people.
But let's say half of
Stop
those.
with that
Let's say
bullshit.
half of those people don't even
No,
pay attention
babies.
to
Babies
no,
think he's
babies
racist.
are
No, I'm saying let's out of those
All
100,
those babies
out
are
of that
racist.
240, let's say half of that.
It's
That's
not.
Go
still
just by the voting
120
public.
million
But we're
people.
not.
You're just saying
You
the
are
people who
essentially
vote
saying-
for Trump. You're basically going down my daughter's path. People
No,
who vote for
I'm not
Trump.
saying that.
But you also believe that half the country is racist, which is really sad
No,
and not true.
It's not. There's less. There's like 40. I'm gonna say 30% of the people are racist.
What?
They're dying off.
That isn't even true either.
Yeah, they're
That's
dying
In
off.
your
insane.
life, have you met 30% of people? are
Absolutely.
racist?
Well, not 30% of the people I've ever met, but I guarantee there's a high
No,
percentage.
don't
Guaranteed.
extrapolate.
Well, not guaranteed.
On your
I'm-
personal experience,
I've met a whole bunch.
you are a man about town. Let's say. right?
Absolutely,
Okay.
yes.
How many people? What percentage of your friends and associates?
Not my friends. I'll say out of everybody I met, I want to say maybe 5%.
Bullshit.
Okay.
But I stay out in the urban areas, so you're not going to find that out there. You're going to find that in the countries.
Can black people be racist?
Absolutely. Everybody could be racist.
Okay, so do you think there's a difference in percentages of black people being racist and white people being racist?
I don't know. I can't tell.
Right. So I'm just
people are racist.
I'm just saying.
However,
so my
some
point
people
is,
act on it.
Going
most people
with
don't.
your extrapolation, even if you add a few percentage points,
yeah,
I don't even agree with 5%. But even if you say 1 out of every 10 people's racist,
there you go.
Are all of them voting for Trump?
The ones that are racist, probably, absolutely.
It's a nonsense conversation.
Do you think Biden's racist?
I'm not going.
Do I think? Yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
absolutely.
Right. So Biden's racist.
Yeah.
Okay. This is what I think about Biden.
Now?
Yeah.
I don't think Biden's racist. Actually.
Wow.
Yeah. I think Biden. But I think Biden is racial, and I want to make a distinction.
There's a distinction. I know. What you mean. Yeah.
He notices, for example, and I'm not really supporting Biden by saying this. No. I'm just saying when he makes a joke about you can't go to a 7-Eleven. And without someone looking, what it was, an Indian, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we have all experienced that, right? You go into a 7-Eleven, and many of them have a minority or an Indian person, right? So he's not saying Indians are inferior, because that's the racial part. I mean, the racist part
is inferior.
He's just making a racial comment.
Observation.
It's observational.
Yeah, it's like observational comment.
Okay. So,
which is dumb in politics, but
I think
that's what he's doing.
That's a practice
that
when the president does it, it's
racism
when he does something like that. But it's not even spoken about when Biden does it.
Oh, listen, this is the thing. Unlike a lot of people, I don't co-sign to the two-party system. So everybody gets it from me. Biden can get it. Trump can get it. Bush can get it. Obama can get it. They all can get it because they're all puppets. They're all puppets. That's the fact of the matter.
And that's the burn down the system
Except
argument.
No, it's just they're all puppets. They don't have any power.
But that's interesting that you say that because of all the people that you mentioned in that, only Trump is the one who's not been in power. Trump is the first person who'd never run for any office at any place at any time. He came straight out of the business world.
Yeah, and that's
and you still think he's a puppet.
No,
I think the reality is that he is not a puppet, and that's the problem.
That's
what's
the hook. Really perplexing to you, I think. You can't grasp it. He's not a puppet.
Yeah, he is.
He's busting the system down.
He's still doing what
but the system is so powerful.
Listen, he's still moving the ball down the field just like every other president before him.
No, he's not.
The only problem is he's obvious about what the end goal is. Everybody else is secretive about it. That's why people didn't like Obama. Obama's talking nice. I
want to go back to see. Do you remember when a couple of years ago we were really talking about the wall and immigration?
Yeah.
That was the big thing. Okay, all right. So he says to the Dems, "I'll give you DACA. Give me the wall." Completely transactional thing to say, right? Mm-hmm. I'll give you what you really want, what you've been begging for. What President Trump,
give me the wall, and I'll give you DACA.
Obama said was illegal and unconstitutional. I'll give it to you. Give me the wall so we can stop the problem from continuing. Let's stop the problem. We'll make everybody else legal. Mm-hmm. No, we can't give Trump because they have Trump arrangements. No, I can't give you a victory. We can't give you a victory. And it was the smartest apolitical decision. It had nothing to do with party politics.
Same thing as, did we forget?
Purely transactional.
Did we not forget the Obama years? Like how they just fought him tooth and nail for everything?
But what does that have to do with that particular...
Because this is the exact same thing that happens every presidency.
No, but I'm making the point that he wasn't coming in as an established politician. He was making a transactional decision.
And by the way, Obama didn't negotiate.
My party's going to hate me for giving him... He went in and said, I don't give a shit about the Republicans.
Yeah, executive orders.
DACA,
same
right?
thing
Like he was
doing executive orders just like Bush was, just like Trump is doing now. There's nothing...
No, he was offering it as part of legislation, and they wouldn't take it. He wasn't saying I'm going to issue an executive order on it. He was saying, look, you want comprehensive immigration reform? And this is your biggest nugget of it? I'll give it to you. But give me the wall. Because he wanted that promise to be fulfilled. Totally transactional. Totally businesslike. Nothing to do with the race of the people coming over the border or anything like that. Right? Am I right? Okay,
You're right.
And if you see that from the perspective of he's a racist, you see it.
Why would he? If he was a racist,
he's just
he would
trying
never
to block brown people from coming into the country.
But he's not.
No, he's just trying to make everybody legal, and saying, "I don't want any more. Let's regulate it from this point forward." So we're still America,
right?
Okay, so every country in this world protects their borders. That's all he wanted. And he was giving the Democrats what they wanted. Now, they were so filled with Trump derangement syndrome, they couldn't even deal with him on a transactional basis. And that's why we're stuck where we are. Mm-hmm. And that's why we're so polarized.
We've been polarized before that.
That's why we're even more polarized.
Yeah, even more.
Obama started it like on steroids.
No. It started before.
It got way worse.
No. It got ugly. It got ugly under Bush. If you remember, the Democrats drew first blood because they were the ones who started this by calling him a liar, refusing to cooperate with him, and this has gone back and forth ever since.
Oh, Bush lied, people died.
Bush lied, people died, and ever since then they've.
But that wasn't a racial thing, or it wasn't a country thing. Like he lied because he hates
racial.
Iranians.
There's nothing part of it that's racial. There's
right. I'm just saying the racial part, the racial divide.
That's the new. That's just their way of keeping it alive. It's not racial. They know it's not racial. They're keeping up divisions so that they can keep up the fight.
That's politics, man.
Well, they got to keep their base.
You say it's
because
just
their base
politics,
believes that they don't want to lose their base.
But it's the Democrats that are doing
They're
that.
They're both
right
doing
now.
it. I don't understand why you think this is just a one-sided thing. This is why, and that's why I love being on the outside looking at both, because y'all do the same things the other people do.
What?
Now, see, I don't agree with that at all.
What are we doing?
Yes,
what are we doing?
Oh my God! This is
What's
like we hate
doing?
the other people. Screw what they want. We're going to fight them all the way.
I'm going to oversimplify this because
same way.
This is what I truly believe.
This
is really the core. Like if you really get like psychiatric about it, okay. I believe that there are generally two types of people overall. The emotional thinkers and the empirical thinkers. We talked about this before. Okay.
Agree 100%.
On the left are the emotional thinkers. What makes us feel good is the best result. On the right is, I know it feels good, but what's going to actually, the data going to show is going to achieve the best result. In our daily lives, we have to battle our emotions and our intellect, and the intellect, in my view, exists to trump, no pun intended, the emotional side, to keep that in check. It is the check to that, okay? So when you're about to make a really bad emotion, oh, that fucking thing in the window, I got to have it today. It's like, I know it's $500, I only have $200, but I'm gonna fucking do it.
I'm gonna buy it.
Your intellect says you don't have the money. It's not in your account. So you don't do it. And so you didn't make the emotional purchase, right? And I think the Democrats as a whole feel like, this is what feels good for me, and I'm going to advocate it. It doesn't matter what the result is. It doesn't matter. It just feels good that this, and it's virtual. It leads to virtual signaling. It's like I know what my other friends feel like, and I want to make them feel like I'm with them. So I'm going to send out these virtues to them, and I'll gather votes this way.
Same thing. Both
Okay.
sides.
No, I think
No, it's not both
I think
sides.
Republicans
No.
think in the way of, okay, it may not actually feel popular, but the results will make me popular. Like once they start feeling the effects of my policies, I'm going to be reelected.
They will like me. They'll reelect me because my policies
That's how I
work.
see it. I know I started out saying this may be oversimplifying it,
It is.
but that's generally what's going on. Okay? Because there's two types of people. And you'll find people on the left, I don't think this part's really debatable, that are more of an emotional, like, I want this result because I think it's fair. You know, I want the tax policy to be fair. And Republicans are saying, okay, I want fairness too, but I also want everyone's boat to be lifted. I want to create a policy where most people are positively affected. You might think it benefits rich people more, but I'm not emotional. If it's affecting poor people proportionally even more than rich people, I'm in favor of it. Don't go in and saying, well, your policies favor rich people, because that's what Democrats do. It's like, all you people, this has got to be unfair. Why are we giving any breaks to rich people?
That's why when Republicans
Like why do that? I'm like,
but and a good example is this: when Republicans generally campaign on tax cuts, they talk about across the board tax cuts. When Democrats, it's like middle class tax cuts, middle class tax cuts for the working poor.
Yeah, because they need it more.
But
51% of the United States of citizens don't pay taxes, income taxes.
at least
90% of all taxes paid are paid by the top 5% of the wage of earners. It's amazing how tilted it is. I might get the stats actually wrong.
When's
but
the last time
it's
Amazon,
very close to
when's
that.
the last time Amazon paid
Okay.
taxes?
Amazon.
No, not as a
Okay,
corporate. I'm
that's
talking about individuals
All
paying
individuals,
taxes.
but
Okay,
there's
all right.
individuals that own those businesses.
No, they
okay,
don't.
But here's the thing. Again, that's an
So how
emotional
is
thought.
Bezos making
This is
40
you're going to
billion?
make
How's
inadvertently-
Bezos making
You
$40
are
billion in
inadvertently
profit?
making my point. You
Yeah.
know why? Because thousands upon thousands and thousands of taxpayers come from people working for the company that's getting the tax breaks.
Yeah.
So
And they're
you
paying
can look at it
taxes.
from the emotional side.
Ain't
Like,
that- ain't that crazy?
why is Amazon getting these tax breaks, or why is Google, or why is any company
Yeah.
getting right? Why is that happening?
Why is Walmart getting tax
Okay.
breaks and then directing people to get financial aid?
Because by those incentives, you're employing and expanding a tax base. You're actually net gaining taxes.
Yeah, by the people that are working that are making $8 an hour got to pay taxes, but
No,
then,
but those people don't pay taxes.
yeah, they do.
No,
They don't get money taken out of their check working at Walmart.
Yeah. Okay. Some of that is Social Security.
Yeah.
Some of that's for Medicare,
Income
and some
taxes.
of it is refunded at the end of the
yeah,
year.
at the end of the year, they're not paying income tax. 51 or more. You look up the stats. I know it's more than half the country actually does not pay income tax.
Here we go. I got the stat right here. In 2016, the top 50% of all taxpayers paid 97% of all income taxes in the United States. The bottom 50% paid the remaining 3%. The top 1% of the United States tax earners paid a greater share of individual income, 37.3%. So the top 1% paid 37.3%. So when you say they don't pay their
It's a
fair
progressive
share,
tax system, right.
they do. By the way, the bottom.
But that's what I'm
90
saying. It's the emotional argument because, boy, if you got like $1 billion in earning a year and you're giving up, half of it, you still got $500 million. Like, what are they really losing? So I get that as an emotional argument, right? Like, what are they really? You still got $500 million. People are suffering. Give up your $500 million. But on a intellectual side of it, you say, you know what? They're paying, like the stats show, the top 50% are paying almost 97%
and this
of
is kind of what I wanted
all
to
the
clarify
taxes in the country.
And so I wanted to clarify the tax system. You just don't like the way we tax in our country. And that's okay. It's a good conversation to have. I think we should all have this conversation because it's good to either understand where we come from and maybe try to find a better solution. But you get mad because Amazon doesn't pay any taxes, or Facebook doesn't pay any taxes, or Walmart doesn't pay any taxes. And when you say that, that's like, you're right. But I don't have a problem with it. And here's the reason why. Because their profits are used, first of all, the income of all of those companies I just mentioned, some of that income is used to pay the income of their employees. Some of that income is considered a profit, and then they distribute that profit to their individual investors because all those companies we just mentioned are corporations. And corporations don't have owners, they have investors. And those individual investors received income from Walmart, and then they pay the tax. See, when you say, well, Walmart didn't pay taxes, okay, so if Walmart pays the tax and then they distribute profits to their investors, are the investors supposed to pay tax twice again?
As they should.
So the money that Walmart makes is supposed to be taxed twice, once at the Walmart level, and then once again it gets to the investor?
Yep.
And then what's left for the people who are working? Very little.
People get their money
and then
working. Look, if you're making $100 billion profit, what's half of that?
You
50.
break the corporate.
See, that's what I'm saying.
The
You
corporation
end up
will
with
go
an
away.
emotional argument.
No,
Which is,
I'm
Jesus,
saying
they're
like,
still rich.
Yeah, they're
so
still
why
rich.
do they?
So
Why do they need breaks?
Why
Because
is
their
this guy
investors
making-
are not rich. Not all of their
investors are getting money.
Bullshit. Most of their investors are 401k union workers who are investing in through their IRA, 401k, and programs. You're trying to hurt the working class people. You're trying to hurt people who actually earn their income in their retirements, who are saving for their future, and you want to tax them. Oh, so they get taxed so Walmart gets taxed when they make the money. The investor gets taxed when they make the money, and then what? When they pull the money out of the bank account, they're supposed to get taxed again?
So here's the other.
You break the system.
Here's
The
the
system
other
won't
side
work.
of this.
That's
very
not
issue.
capitalism.
Why is it they can legally do it?
Why, like, legal? Like, people
Congress passed the laws. They passed the tax code.
Exactly.
Okay, so I understand you're going to say, oh, it's lobbying and influence, and that's true.
Yeah.
Okay. But it's still the law. So if you are a company and that's the law, yeah, you can make the emotional argument. You know what? They shouldn't be paying the minimal amount of tax. They shouldn't be going to their accountants and who they pay to pay the minimum. They should say, out of fairness, we should pay more tax. Do you, Jason, look at your tax when you're doing your tax return and say, I need to pay more? Does anyone?
I pay exactly what I'm supposed to pay.
And no more. And this is what the president's suffering from. Oh my God, he paid X number of dollars in taxes.
$750.
That's the law. He paid what was legal.
So now is that
he paid what was legal?
So
and that's
because
the end
it's
of the story.
legal.
Well, first of all,
that's my point.
But we
There's
also
no
don't know
American.
why.
There's no American that says, I want to volunteer and pay more taxes.
But it's worse than that. We don't know why he only paid $750. There's because we don't have all the information. But isn't it possible that he prepaid taxes? Have you ever prepaid taxes? I have.
I have.
Yeah, I have, and then my taxes
I have to prepay
don't
my
count.
taxes quarterly.
If you're an investor,
If he would've did,
and you
don't you
lose
think he
money,
would've said that?
if you're an
What?
investor,
don't you think
He
Trump would have said
can't
that?
disclose anything right now.
because he's in an audit, and why should he? He doesn't have to explain it. But the other side of that is he's also an investor, and when you invest and you lose, you don't pay taxes because your losses.
Because we
show
reward that
losses.
risk.
We
We have a system that rewards risk because we're capitalists.
Yeah.
You want to change capitalism now, Serge?
No, they need to fix it though.
What's the fix?
Socialism.
It's got to be better checks. Like you can't just, I don't know, stashing money overseas, like all of that. That just is a huge issue too. Like that. And that's
Joe
another
Biden
issue.
says the second debate must be canceled because President Trump still has COVID.
He don't even got COVID, Joe. Come on.
Girl, he's such a girl.
I'm not
Go
gonna
back to your
there.
basement.
I'm not going to go there. Girls fight harder than he does.
It's a
You didn't go there. You didn't go there. Boom. Anyway, that's the update. Let's talk about that now.
Should the debate be canceled?
Can't they have
But they're going to put a plexiglass up between.
Why don't they just put it on Zoom?
Zoom it up, baby.
why cancel?
Because you know it would be a lot easier.
Zoom.
That way, when Trump starts acting like a toddler and
Mute.
talking over everybody, you could just boop mute him.
Okay, I'm
Okay,
gonna
so
say,
we totally hated Trump in the last debate.
No, we hated both of them. That whole thing was stupid.
It was a disaster.
It
I
was
didn't
just
like
like
it. Oh no, I was embarrassed.
I
was
called
embarrassed.
it. I said we're walking into like would be maybe the most embarrassing
It was
debate in the
embarrassment.
history of the world.
But you know, but I'm not going to go and my vote doesn't change. And they said that 90%. I think there was something like the vast majority of people
Hated
who
it,
watched
yeah.
nobody liked it, but nobody changed their mind.
Right.
Because
Yeah, because there was nothing there that you could.
there was no meat.
Did
It
you
was-
see
it
the
was
Saturday
awful.
Night Live cold open?
I didn't even get. I
Did
missed
you hear about it?
I missed it.
Hilarious.
I
about
saw
the
that.
debate.
What's his face did
Jim
Biden.
Carrey.
Jim
Yeah,
Carrey did.
He was so
I gotta
good at
watch it because I know they must have had a field day with that. 'Cause
Oh,
that was
oh,
it
I
was
saw
like
it.
watching Saturday Night Live.
Yeah,
I'm
it
sitting
was
here like,
self-caricatures, and that was
how-
a disaster.
yeah,
So
it was terrible.
anyway,
That's where we're at now.
as a result, Chris Christie's in the hospital.
Yeah, but he got a call from the King of Jordan, so that was a big deal.
Wait.
Really, what happened? What?
I don't know. The King of Jordan called him and gave him his sympathies. I was like, so?
Chris Christie's in
Who's
the
that
hospital
guy?
for what?
He was the
COVID.
debate coach for Trump, and Trump. One of the two of them had corona, whatever,
Jesus.
or other people in the debate prep room because they were not masked and they were
I
in
think there
close
was a
quarters.
Biden. I think there was a Biden mole.
He was out there spraying it. Somebody was out there spraying it. I don't know.
It's a hoax. It's just a hoax.
I don't think he's got it. To be personal, I think what it was. No, I'm gonna be honest. He looked
All right, what's your theory?
he looked like a toddler, and he looked so bad. Plus, you couple that with the $750 tax thing hitting, and just he had a horrible week. And they were probably like, "Listen, just you got COVID. Stay inside. Don't move. Just stay in there."
I'm just
And
gonna say
Trump
this.
is that guy. You can't tell him to do
Okay,
anything.
First of all, I don't believe it's a lie. Second of all, I agree that Trump did horrible in that debate. He lost too much opportunities. But I'm going to tell you this much. Listen, dropping the mic right here. If Biden cancels that debate, this whole thing shifts
yeah, I agree.
Trump's favor.
in Trump's
I
favor, and Trump crushes him.
I agree.
If that's real and Biden maintains, Trump wins.
No, you know what they
pull up
need.
the
They need another Trump in the Democrats. You need to have a guy that's going to talk just as much crap back, so it could be
But you know what
real
it is?
petty.
But
Let's go
Serge,
super petty.
Serge, I really appreciate that because, but I think you're partially right. I think you're onto something.
Yeah.
It isn't that Trump talks crap. What they need is someone who talks real. See, Biden is overly scripted.
Yeah.
Trump is not.
That's
Trump-
why
you
I
can
love
like-
Ocasio. You
can
throw
not like
Ocasio
Trump.
in there, that's a win.
Now she's
she's actually smart with her
I'm going to
stuff.
disagree with you there. No.
She's dumb
You know
as
what?
a
I'm
rock.
going to go better. I'm going to go better. You know who's not scripted and real? Bernie.
Yeah, Bernie.
Bernie.
But they'll never
would
let
give
him
Trump. Bernie would give Trump
Yeah.
a run for his money.
And they would
because
never let him in.
Bernie's
He
not a
believes
puppet.
to his soul
See,
what he's
to the
saying.
extent that you say Trump is a puppet, I say no. Trump is no more a puppet than Bernie is, and neither of them are. Biden is a puppet. AOC is a child, and everybody else, Hillary, all those people, they're all puppets.
Yeah, they're all puppets.
But Bernie, and I'm not a Bernie
I've been
fan
wanting Bernie for
policy-wise, but
years.
I am a fan of him personality-wise, and he would give Trump a run. Now, Trump would ultimately pummel Bernie into the ground, but Bernie would give him a run. No, he would, because people would lose. Same reason why he didn't win South Carolina is the reason why Trump would have beaten him.
I'm flipping.
No,
the
Bernie
conversation
won.
for a
They
minute.
gave
flipping
they
it
gave
back.
Wait,
the
wait,
state.
wait, because I just remembered.
I think that
something.
was South Carolina.
Did
as
you
a matter
hear
of fact,
Biden?
where Bernie won it, and they said,
No.
no, we're giving it to Hillary."
Did you
anyway."
hear Biden earlier today? It was either today
Biden.
or yesterday, when he was, I guess he was speaking to the press, and he said, "I was able to spend time in the basement, and right."
Are we talking about that?
Yeah,
You're going there?
because that
Yes.
allows some black woman to stock shelves
because
at the local.
I was
at the
able
local
to
grocery
I was
store.
able to stay isolated because there was a black woman stocking shelves in the grocery. That's
Yes.
what he said.
Yeah, what's with that? Explain that.
What?
How about
He
that,
was in the
Mr.
basement.
Fung?
What do you mean? There was some girl that was working at the grocery store.
We don't
No,
know
what-
what he means, but he's
Say
essentially
that
saying
again. What did he say?
Yeah, why did he have to say a black lady?
Because he's pandering just like Trump does. This
Exactly.
is called
But-
pandering.
but
I
you
don't
know
know
what's
why
worse than pandering?
you guys act like it doesn't happen with Trump.
No, okay. I don't believe it happens with Trump as much, but Biden was pandering, and I'll tell you why.
What are you
And I'll
laughing
tell you
at?
why.
It's
And I'll
true.
tell you why.
Do it.
And I
It's
will tell you
truth.
why.
You guys don't watch it because you're signed to this party, so you're like you don't see it. They both do it. They all do it.
Wait, did I say I was conservative? I'm independent.
No, I'm saying just period, yo. Like
I'm a fascist.
right left,
I don't know
the
what
right
you're
left thing. I think it's more a right left
I'm
thing
in the
than
right
it
place.
is Republicans Democrats. But it's like you guys don't see that they're doing the same thing. I equate it to a football team. You got the offensive coordinator, the defensive coordinator. They're on the same team. They got the same goals, and that's totalitarian police state. That's where we're headed. Trump is going to get us there fast tracked. Biden's slowly going to get us there. That's just how it is. This is how it's always been. Come on, you guys.
What do we
can't say
do?
this
What do
to
we
me.
do with this dude?
I'm just saying. This is what's happening.
It makes good.
'Cause I'm
makes
looking
good
at it from the
radio.
outside.
Well,
I don't
I'm gonna leave
co-sign.
I'm not going to respond to Serge, but I'm going to respond to your comment. This is what I think Biden did inadvertently, and this is what he does all the time. He essentially said it's okay for lower income. Forget the color for a moment. I'm okay with lower class people going out and exposing themselves for the to the COVID to protect me, so I can stay my rich ass white
That's what it
self
was meant.
staying in the. That is so unbelievably pandering and insulting, and that should be pushed to the hilt.
So what's
Right.
worse than that? Going out in public while you have it, knowing you have it, allegedly,
Oh, okay. No.
or saying I'm glad I could stay here because she's an essential worker. Going out there knowing that you're infected.
I've never I
Going
can't-
out knowing that you have
I
COVID.
cannot compare pineapples to bananas.
No,
That's
but
insane.
also, what?
If
going
if-
out there knowing that you
okay.
have it and saying
Okay.
it's only been 3
But
days.
you're inadvertently roping yourself.
No, I'm
into-
asking you.
No, I'm
What's
going to
worse?
answer. I'm going to answer you. Okay, you're inadvertently roping yourself into the wrong argument because he could have said, "I'm in my basement because there are people out there sacrificing themselves
He
for the
could've.
greater good."
Yeah.
And working in this grocery stores and at banks and at gas
And
stations.
Trump is the
Right,
greater.
right. He could have said that, but he said some black woman.
Because that's what you wanted to hear. Because that's what he
No,
said. That's what.
Why does that come to him?
Because
and say
he's
that? You think that's
pandering.
scripted?
What do you get?
Do you
Don't
think he was
That
told to
not
say that, or
scripted.
is that him
was
saying
not
it?
scripted.
I guarantee
There
he was.
no way
That's
that was not
all.
scripted.
Like he's programmed. He's been saying shit like that for 40 years.
No.
So
Yeah.
he's programmed.
All right, so
to
I'm
say
looking
that.
at another news story. I haven't even seen this one.
But you didn't answer the question. What's
Wait.
worse?
What
Going
does
out
that
there
say?
knowing that you
What's
have
that
it.
say?
It says Biden remarks about beautiful young ladies stun onlookers go viral. I'm not a big fan of that, but
You know that story?
is that the one
What
about
happened?
the dancers? Is that what the dancers?
No, I don't
wanna see
know.
them
I'm just
again?
reading it for the first time.
I don't know. I don't know either.
So
I'm
is
not
it
gonna
worse
guess.
for somebody to knowingly have it to go out there and possibly infect people? or a guy talking about it.
So when did Trump knowingly go out and infect people with
When
the
he was
COVID?
riding around in his thing with Secret Service agents that possibly
that were separated by a plexiglass in the limousine he was driving.
Hey, you're in there with him. You're supposed to be at home, right? When you get COVID, what do? You stay at home for how long? 14 days. Why is this guy out 3 days later talking about, I'm going back to the White House? There's nothing to fear.
All right.
There's nothing to fear. Don't let it control your lives.
First of all, thousands of 10,000 times a day, there are people who are getting checked into a hospital because they think of COVID-related or COVID.
Okay.
And the doctors get them well enough to get them back out of the hospital.
Okay.
They're not like cured. They don't have to stay until they're cured. Get them back out until they can be taken care of at home. Because you get, what's the word? Narcosomial, I think, is the word.
Yeah.
Which is, they're a hospital-borne disease. That's actually the fourth largest killer in the country.
Yeah.
Okay, you know this, right? Like,
Yeah.
you get diseases from the hospital.
Yeah.
So you got to get them in for the short-term cure and get them out as soon as possible because they're less at risk. Nothing wrong with what the president did, leaving the hospital. You find that was wrong?
I find knowing that
here's
you
what I
could
think.
possibly
I think
give somebody a disease that can kill them, you might want to stay inside. You don't want to be going out there
He's
taking
being
pictures.
treated in the White House
Yeah.
by a great medical team in the White House.
Yeah.
He's just going home.
Yeah, he's going home. That's fine.
Okay,
but
that's
when
what
you're
I'm saying.
going out there and telling people, don't worry about it, it's not that bad. I'm feeling better than I have in 20 years.
He said, "Don't be dominated by it." He says, like, that there's a. I see it. And again, this is a matter of what lens you peek
No,
through.
this is
right?
what he said.
Well, I know it's what he said.
Fact.
It's facts.
It's facts, so it's nothing to worry
No,
about.
what I'm saying is, I look at that as from saying, "Listen, people, this is going to stay with us. Don't let it control your life. Don't let fear control you. Don't let I got it, I have to give up and die." We have modalities now. We have treatments now. We're working on the vaccine now. Don't be defeatist about it. I think that's leadership. I look at that from a leadership view. I don't look at it as, "Oh, you poor suckers! I got the best treatment, you don't." And
I think what you got is this. It's a lot more simple. If you hate Trump, what he did was wrong. If you like Trump, what he did was fine, and that's pretty much it. And that's where it boils down to.
Yeah, and
that's
it's a sad state of affairs.
We don't look at the empirical facts and decide. We say, well, I hate him. He shouldn't have gotten in that car, even though he had a mask on. Oh, and he was separated by plexiglass. I hate him, so everything is wrong.
No, that's not it at all.
And we're all burning it all
I'm
down.
simply saying he's creating.
There isn't a single
He is
thing
creating
he
the
did.
illusion as the leader of the United States that
You know
it's
what he
okay to not care about it.
Do you know what he did wrong? You know what
Going
he did
out
wrong?
of the house
No,
when they were
you know what
told
he did
not
wrong?
to do it.
You know what he did wrong? He didn't fucking die. That's what he did wrong.
No,
That's
wait.
all.
Let's
that was
ask,
the only
let's ask
solution.
the $64,000 question. Had he gone in the hospital and took a dramatic turn for the worst,
Yeah.
and he was getting on a ventilator, your thoughts?
my thoughts.
If he dies, he dies.
If he dies, he dies.
Nice setup. We didn't even plan that,
I
but
know.
you did.
No, I actually had that in there from like 3 shows ago.
Okay, right.
He's been waiting.
No, that was actually for the Fool and Friends. I had those sound bites in there, but it just happened to be there.
No,
So I
but
was
your
like, "Please
personal
say this."
thoughts.
No,
If the
If he
president
died,
got worse.
I don't want anybody to die of anything. That's like wishing death on
Okay.
somebody is the worst thing you could do. However, I'm not.
However-
But if you're Trump,
no,
I hope you
I'm
die.
saying no. I'm
However,
saying
if you're Hitler,
I'm saying
like
it
Trump
would be
is.
an example that America would need.
I mean, something good would come from his death, is what
Yeah,
you're
because
saying.
people realize, oh, this is serious. He's not. He's because Herman Cain died at his attending his rally getting COVID.
No,
Didn't he
that's
just-
a
didn't he
theory
just
that
have
he got
somebody-
it from a.
They said he died of COVID. What do you mean it's a theory now?
No, it's a theory. He got it from the rally. Come on.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
That's not.
We have to.
That's just a story. No one knows.
I think there was somebody else. That
All right,
died
so we learned
recently
today
that
from
was
the CDC, by the way, and we'll end the show in a couple minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. I forget what I was going to say. What
I forgot. We were talking about COVID.
No, whatever.
If he dies, he dies.
All I know is Jason's got to pee.
No, I don't. I think it would have been horrible. But would I've been like, oh, I can't believe he died? No, because I'm like, he knew the risks, and he went out there, downplay, and it's what do they call it?
Because Trump is evil.
No, he might be. I don't know.
All right, so the
I don't know the man
Dems spin
personally.
this as he's killing 210,000 people. Do you see the ads
No,
on TV?
absolutely.
I'm not having that conversation.
Actually,
I'm not even going to
I'm not even
entertain
gonna-
that. I'm
No,
not entertaining
he's not. He personally
no, but you
like
see
you
the ads
saying,
where they
like,
try
people
to portray it
yeah,
that
absolutely.
way.
But that's how it is.
Oh my
bro.
God, how disgusting is
Because this is called campaigning. This is what they do. They put fear, fear, fear on every commercial. Just like Trump's commercials is, if Biden takes over, we're going to have riots in the street. We're going to have people dying everywhere.
But he doesn't want to scare you
Facts.
about
But
COVID.
they're all scared.
Facts.
But they're all scared.
Facts.
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 Even though he's saying this would happen during Biden's presidency, it just all happens to
Hey,
be
all I gotta
ironically
say-
happening during his
Hey,
presidency.
all I got to say is let's drop some bombs on the liberals today.
Yeah. What was I going to say? There was something I was going to say.
All right, we got to segue out of the show. Listen, this show is about love and respect. We
Yes.
debate. We love each other. Sure, are we not brothers?
Absolutely. Not.
All right, so we debate. We love each other. Love and respect, far more important than the actual vote or your politics. Keep that in mind, please, people.
Thank you. You keep that in mind. When it's
No,
time
we're
to vote.
passionate, but we still love you in spite
Why
of
don't
your...
you just vote for him and say you didn't?
That's
Keep your
lying.
family
That's
together,
lying.
man.
So she wants you to lie to keep your family together?
I'm now hurt.
No, I'm
I'm
just
going
saying.
to cry.
You're going to do what
You're
you
making
gotta
me
do to
cry
keep
on the
your
way
family
out?
together. At the end of the day, it's 30, 40. How old are you now? You're 50-something?
I
You
think
got
it's
a birthday
interesting-
coming up, right?
I think it's
57
really
tomorrow.
interesting that you think it's him that's
I know.
making
Because
this
he's also
decision.
well, because when
She's
the
not-
older
he's
you
not the one who
get-
made the threat.
No, the older you get, you're like, it's my kid. I don't got to listen to them. But you also got to understand
No,
they're coming from a good place.
all I told her, as you saw from my response, is
Wow.
I love you, I respect you.
That
Your vote-
wasn't your
vote-
response.
It was.
What was
I
your
read it to
last
you.
response?
Okay.
Yeah.
In the middle of
Yeah.
the conversation.
If my dad sent that
No.
to me, I would be hurt.
First, she gave her opinion,
Yeah.
and then I said,
He tried.
"We are not talking politics.
Yeah.
I will always love you." Right? Okay. And then she went, "You don't understand. This transcends politics.
wants you to know
You are
that-
now evil to me,
She
and unless you
wants-
change your vote, you'll
Yeah.
always be evil, and
What's
I won't
wrong with
tolerate
that?
it."
What's wrong with that?
And then I should say,
Because it's threatening. She's threatening their
it's not
relationship over
threatening.
his.
She just wants to know that you're a good guy and you support.
But he is a good
the
guy.
overall good.
I am objectively, by any measure, a good person. That's the point of this whole thing.
Objectively. Why can't you just be a good person?
He is.
Why can't you just support good people? They don't.
We
hate-
do.
Okay, why don't you support the lesser of two evils?
We do.
That's what I do. I live it. And so this
Oh
is,
my God.
this is the funny thing. I always go back to this thing, like these two things. When my daughter complains to me, you are a product
Okay.
of a biracial marriage, and
All right. You know who else had biracial kids? Slave owners.
who's that?
Thomas Jefferson. You're a Thomas Jefferson.
Oh,
That's
slave
Thomas
owners.
Jefferson.
Oh, you said. I thought you said slave boners.
do it like
I have
this.
no idea what
Let's
that
do it like
is.
this. Let's do it like this. All right. There
I
is-
don't even know where you got
Let's
that.
do. You, Richard, you ready? You ready? Okay,
Slave
Richard.
boners.
Richard.
Slave boners. Who has slave boners?
Okay,
Thomas Jefferson.
Listen, Richard, you're walking up to a cliff. Donald Trump is hanging there, and your daughter is hanging there. Who are you saving?
What?
Did you have to wait and pause to
What?
even
I'm trying.
think about
I'm
the
trying
answer?
to think. I'm trying to think of the visual.
There's a
first.
cliff of fire. You're literally
His
saving-
daughter. His daughter.
You have to
Yes.
choose
His
between
daughter.
Donald
My daughter.
Trump
His daughter.
and your daughter.
Right.
Who are you picking?
But we're not talking about actual.
Wow!
When
I'm not asking you to condemn white supremacy, Donald. I'm asking you a
You're
simple
talking
question.
about the
I
actual
really hope
life
she's
of
not
my
watching
daughter.
this.
I just simply said, vote for who you want to. Let me vote for who I want to, and don't threaten our relationship over it.
God, Richard.
How,
Obviously,
You are
know-
worse than
I'm
Trump
just
at a
telling.
debate.
I'm telling you, you're making yourself purposely look stupid now.
No, I'm
yes,
saying,
you are.
I'm saying,
you're being-
given
you're
the
being intentionally
choice,
obtuse.
Giving the choice,
I.O. is my new.
In
my
that
new nickname.
in that
Intentionally obtuse.
hypothetical,
hypothetical situation.
I'm saving my daughter.
Okay, thank you.
It's not even.
That's all she wants.
It's not even a hard. No, that's
That's
not
all
all
she
she
wants.
wants.
All right,
No,
so
it's not.
I'll tell you what she has to do now. She needs to hang herself over a cliff
With Donald Trump next to her.
Don't tempt her.
and let me
She
make
might.
the choice.
It's got to be 6 feet because he's got COVID, allegedly.
Play
He's
the
either-
song, dude.
He's either got it or he don't. Which one is
We're
it?
out.
He does.
We're out of here.
We're out of here.
If he got it, then he don't care about people.
Let's drop a bomb on the liberals today. Let's drop a bomb and blow them all away. We don't need those crazy kooks.